the basics about gay and lesbian clients. They also asked me about sexual fluidity and bisexuality, about the special needs of gay teens, and about all the complex issues associated with treating transgender individuals. These are enormously challenging areas, and their associated social, scientific, political, and clinical frameworks are constantly being scrutinized, criticized, and revised. Therefore, this book, although modeled on GATSC, contains completely new chapters on these rapidly evolving areas. In addition, a number of topics in the book have been updated and revised. I now see gay affirmative therapy in terms of the whole LGBTQ spectrum, and the language of this new book reflects that. On certain topics, I have a radically changed perspective in keeping with new findings in sexual health. I wrote about sexual addiction in the last book, but I've changed my paradigm around working with people with out-of-control sexual behaviors. I no longer see sexual addiction as a useful framework for treatment. In fact, I think it's mostly abusive to gay and bisexual men. I discuss this further in Chapter 9. I'm shocked when I reread GATSC at my apparent heterosexist, heteronormative, mononormative mindset. We in the LGBTQ community have opportunities that straight people don't have. I don't think I honored that reality or recognized it enough in GATSC. In this book, I'm less afraid to bring up various sexualities, various fluidities, various sexual preferences as healthy possibilities for LGBTQ individuals. Changes in the LGBTQ community since GATSC was written. I've been noticing a generation gap. For the older generation, there's still an orthodoxy around preferred sexual roles and preferred sexual practices, and there's still a split between the communities. Lesbians keep to themselves and don't want outsiders. Gays are an island that really doesn't feel connected to the bisexuals. Older generation gays and lesbians and bisexuals are often not comfortable with transgender individuals. On the other hand, LGBTQ people who are under 40 are coming together more as a community. Lesbians and gays, for instance, are starting to care about each other and work toward each other's causes. I've even had younger gay people say that they're not bothered by the term homosexual. They don't have the history of hatred and discrimination that taints the word for those of us who remember how bad things used to be. The term is generally still considered derogatory by mainstream LGBTQ organizations. Several issues for the LGBTQ community have not progressed very much over the last 10 years. Transgender individuals are still not accepted or given support in many gay and lesbian circles. See Chapter 14. Suicide is still a big problem, especially for LGBTQ adolescents. See Chapter 13. Changes in mainstream society. In keeping with the generation gap, younger straight allies of LGBTQ people have become much more active and visible and supportive. School groups like gay-straight alliances are common now, whereas in the past they were rare. It's now cool to have an LGBTQ friend. While many older people have not changed their prejudices, younger people do not seem to be that concerned if someone is LGBTQ. In fact, the distinction between straight and non-straight is not maintained with the same rigidity as in the past. Younger adults and teens of all orientations are experimenting with sexual fluidity and gender fluidity. That's a huge change, and a fairly recent one. The Internet, of course, has changed our society in many ways. One is to facilitate communication between the straight world and the LGBTQ world. People are talking about their own lives on the Internet, and it is uncensored and raw. Through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, people are seeing LGBTQ lives and feeling empathy. The vilification of LGBTQ people has given way to the reality that they are no different from straight people. One result, I believe, is